Hello everyone. This time we are going to see even bigger cycles of Venus. That is around 243 years. The cycles are there of 243 years, and even bigger cycles than that one, which is somewhere around for almost 5,000 years. Yes, that's true altogether. So we'll try to see that. This is the website of NASA where you can see three-dimensional orbits of the planets together. So let's say, for example, this is the solar system overall. And if you zoom across, you'll be able to see, yes, that's it. The orbits which are there, especially, let's say we are talking about the Earth and the Venus. So you'll be able to see this in a 3D format. It looks beautiful. So I thought let's try to share these things with you guys also. Very specific things that we would like to see over here and discuss one by one. So, yep, let's go to those points. So we'll again take help of various websites together. One is NASA and second is again Wikipedia. So this is something called as transit. We'll just read it what exactly this is. Uh, the Venusian orbit is slightly inclined relative to Earth's orbit. Thus, when the planet passes between Earth and Sun, it usually does not cross the face of the Earth. But now, what do you mean by slightly inclined orbit as such? So let me just show you a few photos. So if you see across in this photo, so you'll come to know that the plane which is there of Earth, if we consider this at 0 degree altogether, then the plane which is there of Venus, this is maybe slightly a bit. I mean, like they are not at the same plane levels. Let me show you if we have more images. So this is how it is. If you see, this is at 0 degrees. So probably the uh, orbital of Venus which is there, that is slightly inclined. Now, what is the difference because of this part? Maybe probably because of this thing, they do not every time match. There is only during some specific time period that they match with each other, right? And when this all three come together in one plane, that is called as the transit period, right? So we have few more details related to that. Let's look at those things also. So for example, uh, I'll just mute this, again taken from Google. So just quickly taking you across through that, so showing you some details of that, right? So that's how it is. So when you see from Earth altogether, when Venus is passing between Sun and Earth, right? For a shorter time period, it exactly passes across through Earth, right? So when this passing happens, so this time period is called as transit, right? So this is what I just wanted to show you across through this part. So you understand what exactly is the transit and how it happens, right? So when this black dot, which is there, that passes, this is Venus, by the way, when it passes across through Sun in the same plane, right? So that period is called as lunar transit. So let's try to find out more about this from Wikipedia. As I told you, it usually does not cross the face of the Sun. Transit of Venus occurs when the planet's inferior conjunction coincides with its presence in the plane of Earth's orbit, right? So, what is inferior conjunction and rest of the things? We have already seen this in the previous uh, videos. I'll probably just try to show you that if possible. Let me just quickly go through the other parts also. Just to show you across those details, nothing more. It is I just check across for Venus over here. Yep. So when the Venus is between Sun and Earth, exactly. That is called as inferior conjunction. And when the sun is between Venus and Earth, that is called as superior conjunction. But here we are taking all the things with reference to the inferior conjunction point, right? So this is important. Why? Because it is during this part we are able to see the sun as well as Venus together in one plane. So that is called as transit. Let's go to the more, like the Wikipedia page. Huh. Occurs when the plane's inferior conjunction coincides with its presence in the plane of Earth's orbit. Transits of Venus occur in cycles of 243 years, with the current pattern of transit being pairs of transit separated by 8 years. Now we know this period of 8 years that is there, which is the pentagon of Venus being formed as such pentagram, right? So we have already seen about that part previously that every 8 years it starts at the same point, and after forming a pentagram, it again matches with the same part. I mean, at the same time and at the same place also. Same place as in the zodiac signs. We'll talk about that also. 8 years at interval of about 105.5 years or 121.5 years. A pattern first discovered in 1969, right? So these are the details which have been given, and this generally occurs in a pair, right? The latest pair was June 8, 2004 and June 5, 6, 2012. Right now, a significant thing is there about this 2004 and 2012 part. Let me show you that also. So if we check out with the cycles, let's say we are talking about the bull and bear cycles as especially. So if I go across through maybe 2004 as well as 2012, I am able to find out something very important. Maybe we are yet to find out all the details regarding this, but yes, these are very coincidental, not necessarily pertaining to those parts only. But if I look across in this is 2004, and if I especially check that, right? So the dates that we had, where is the date? 8th June 2004. 8 June 2004. We'll just try to mark this date with a red line probably. So this is we have the same date. Yes. So this is 8th of June 2004, right? And after that we had the second date which is coming in 2012, and 2012 is 5th of June 2012. Yes, the month is also matching. Month as in, yeah, it is coming in the month of June only, and this is 2012. That is June. We first of all take this line so that we are able to draw that also. 5th and 6th of June. So I'll just draw across 5th of June. So this is somewhere around 5th of June or 8th of June. It's okay. I'll just take probably 4th. After 4th, it is 7th. 6th is not there, probably a holiday, right? So this red line is there that we have, and this is the second red line. So this is a period of almost 8 years, right? What we see in this time period probably is one important thing, which I'll just like to show you. Both the points are coinciding with a beer cycle. So this is probably a low of beer cycle. Let me just zoom it across so that we are able to see that clearly. So this was the low of beer cycle, right? After that, we had a crash, a huge crash in 2008, and after that, again a low which we see across. Not exactly the low which is there, but yes, a higher low. So this was a low, this was a high, and then this is a lower high, right? So if we see across, yes, something of significance is there was a bear cycle in 2004, right? So this was a downfall, and there was a bear cycle again, which was there in 2012 also. So probably just a wild guess, but yes, something important that we are at least able to know from this transits, right? The next transit is going to be long back, so probably we are. I'm not pretty sure whether we'll be alive till that period or not. Hopefully not. The transit would be watched live from many online outlets or observed locally. So this you can do. The preceding pair of transit occurred in December 1874 and December 1882, right? So this is a very long time period ago, right? More than a century back. So we didn't had any data pertaining to that related to Nifty. So we are not able to track that probably. The following pair will occur in December 2017 and December 2125. So this details are there. Probably we have tried to find out more about this, and we have got an entire page just related to this transit part. We'll see this more of into details also one by one. Uh, Transit with the subject of the oldest film known as 1874 Passage to Venus, right? So we tried to find out more regarding this part, and we found out this on the website of NASA, right? So where is website of NASA? Yeah, yeah. So on this details, we found out something related to this is 6 million catalog of Venus transits that is from 2000 to 4000 BC, right? So it has an entire data, and I've just downloaded this PDF, and we have this PDF with us. Where is the PDF? Yes, so this is a copy, right? We'll just go through few of the details which are there. Very interesting altogether. I had a curiosity more of about this part. So this is all the same thing that we have read, that okay, blah 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 things about Venus that we have seen till now. 8 year cycle which is there, Venus day cycle, right? So one peculiar thing which we have seen that, but probably not discussed about, is Venus completes its revolution, that is 13 revolutions. Venus arrives at the eighth year to no. Ah, so Earth takes around 8 times to orbit around the Sun during the same period, and even during the same period, that is during this 8 years, Venus completes around 13 revolutions. Now 8 and 13 are again more of Fibonacci numbers. Yes, I mean like just to signify altogether. So we know the importance of few of the things which do keep on occurring every now and then. Right, let me just zoom across this page if possible. Yes, better now. So that is one thing. Second thing is, we'll just read further. Venus and Earth line up in the same position with respect to Sun. Actually, the two orbital periods are not quite commensurate with each other, since Venus arrives at the 8 year rendezvous about 2.45 days than earlier than Earth. After the third 8 year cycle, Venus arrives too early for a transit to occur. So this is probably, we need to understand, this is important. This is not exactly the transit that we are talking about. But yes, this is important because during that time it is not a transit as such, but yes, it passes very much nearby, and it passes probably 2.45 days earlier than Earth, but it passes nearby. This is during the third 8 year cycle, right? Again, something very significant that has been seen is it the transits which have been happening for last maybe 2000 years, that were been happening for a period between June. So these were either happening in June or maybe they were happening in December. They have also given the ratios which is there. So this is 54%, this is 45%, which is quite significant. And from 2000 BCE to 4000 BCE, right? So there are somewhere around 81 transits which have happened. Only 81 transit during this huge time period, which is quite significant. I mean, like we need to understand these are very rare events, celestial bodies events which have been happening, right? And those are peculiarly been happening from June to December. And yes, these are part of the bigger cycle because they keep on changing. We'll see about that part also. So we have seen this, right? The next transit season occurs either 105.5 years or 121.5 years late at the opposite node of Venus orbit. Once again, a pair of transit will often occur separated by 8 years, right? This recurrence patterns of eight, the 8 years is for the transit, first transit to the second transit. So that's why the difference of 8 years plus 105.5 plus the 8 year transit, which again happens, plus 121.5 years can be seen repeating itself in the catalog of Venus transit. An example of the pattern can be seen in the transit of 1631, that is the year 1631, 1639, 1761, 1769, 1874, 1882, 2004, and 2012, right? So these are all been happening during the same time period between these years which have been given. So if we have, or maybe do this mathematical calculations, you'll come to know this first year plus this 8 years mark this, then you, if you add this, you'll be getting this, then the next 8 years, if they have been added, you get these dates, and then after 127 years, uh, so these dates are there. So gradually, all together, all these things are coming into place. Occasionally, one of the 8 year double transits may disappear from the catalog for several centuries because one of them is a misyear. For instance, note the missing transit of 1388, 1145, 1902, 659, 416, etc. So probably you have to do the calculations from your side. A useful way to organize the transit is by grouping them into series where each member of a series is separated by 243 years, right? So this is the actual calculation which has been happening. The same calculation which has been given over here, the same calculation has been taken over here. Thus, the transit of 1518, 1764, and 2004 would belong to a series where the transit of 1639, 1882, 2125 would belong to another series. Now, please understand this is something very important that we need to understand. Even when the years which have been there, let's say for like uh, 1518 and 1639, these have been happening after, maybe probably they are nearby, but still we have to complete or consider them in different series, right? Such transit series are quite long lived and may last 5000 years or more. So we have seen one thing which is a cycle which is there of 243 years, which is there, and a bigger cycle than that which is there for 5000 years. Let's talk about that. For example, Series 4, December at ascending node began in 1763 and will run through 2854 or gazing transit for a total of 20 transits spanning 4617 years. So during this span of 4617 years, there are going to be 20 transits. These transit families are quite analogous to the Saros series for solar and lunar eclipse, right? The position of the orbital nodes of Venus will respect to Earth are slowly changing with time, right? Now, this is the most important part that we need to see how nature changes altogether. And probably we also need to adapt to these changes which are there, right? So please focus again. Let's see. The position of the orbital node of Venus with respect to Earth are slowly changing with time. 5000 years ago, transit occurred around May 21st and November 19th. At present, the transit occurs with a day of June 7th and December 9th, right? So probably you can see a huge difference from May to June. So date wise, yes, they are definitely changing here also from November 19 to this has come down to December 9, right? So this cycle probably takes longer time period, maybe probably around 5,000 years for these changes to happen. But there are slight corrections which do happen during this 5,000 years, right? The transit will occur during Earth's solstice. So this is after 1,500 years. So that is around, we are there in 2022. So let's say we are talking about 3,500, right? So that would be around 1,500. Probably we are not sure what would be happening in this 1,500 years. So during that time, it would be happening probably during the solstice time period. We know about this solstice. We already made videos regarding that. So these dates would be coming to June 21st and December 22. This trend in the shift of transit dates is rapidly apparent in the catalog below. Over a period of approximately 8,000 years, the transit dates would migrate forward one complete cycle through the season, right? To understand how these transits do happen and what are the changes which would be happening. The following catalog contains predictions for every transit of Venus during the 6,000 years interval, uh, 2000 BC through 4000 BCE, right? So this information for each transit in the catalog is summarized as follows. So the dates and rest of the things have been given, right? And finally, the transit series. So this transit series are important to understand, right? We'll see about this transit series. Greatest transit is defined as this is there. Over the 6 millennium period of this catalog, transit of Venus can be organized into 8 series. The transit in any one series recur with a 243-year period. The series numbers has been assigned in chronological order with respect to the first transit in each series. Transit series with an odd number occur at Venus descending node, May, June, while series with an even number occur at Venus ascending node, November, December. So what is this node, ascending node and descending nodes, right? So let's try to see this in terms of other aspects, like from a different point of view, right? So if you see the cycles which have been happening, let's say, for example, the last one which happened, that was there in, let's say we are talking about 2004, right? So the cycles which are there, let's say we are talking about the one which happened in 1874. So between this 1874 and this 1761 which was there, right? This cycles of 2004 would be happening in the zodiac sign Taurus, right? And the next cycles which are going to be there, or previously before that, it was there in 1874, right? So this happened in Scorpio, and again from this would be happening in Taurus, right? So if you see, probably this Taurus and Scorpio are on the opposite sides, and that's why this ascending nodes are there on the opposite side, which happens in May, June, and probably after that in November, December, right? So that's why we need to understand and why they have been separated from each other over a period of 243 years. And that's why a series is being made up according to that, right? So these are something very important that we need to understand, gradually try to find out, right? While series with an even number occur at Venus ascending nodes. So ascending nodes probably are there on one side, and descending nodes are there on the opposite side. So May, June is the time period for that, and the second series is there for November, December, right? So if you see this, transits have been given over here, 1, 2, 3, 4 are been overall marked, and this happens over a period, and gradually it is there starting from 5, 6 up to the end part. Yes, so these are all been given. This is a short article, so probably you can just go through this. One more important thing is the dates. If you try to see about the dates, which is very critical, because we had been following different kind of calendars. The Julian calendar is used for all dates up to 1582 October 04, right? So after that day, the Georgian calendar is being used. So understand, up to 1582, it was all the Julian calendar, right? The Georgian calendar is used. Due to the Georgian calendar reform, the date after 1582, right? So probably after this dates, probably it is the Georgian calendar which has been added. Note that Great Britain did not adopt the Georgian calendar until 1752, right? So this is a small change or details that we need to understand. See, there are minor details that we need to understand, right? If you don't understand that, probably we won't be able to see or know about the details, right? So overall, if you see here, there are all the transits which have been given. Let's say, for example, from 0 to 1999. So this have been given. So all the dates have been mentioned. Probably if you can just go through these details, you will come to understand about the entire series which has been given, right? So what we saw over here is the next one which will be coming, let's say like 2004, 2012. Coincidentally, as we saw for 2004 and 2012, is during both the years, probably we had a bear cycle which has been going on, right? So this cycles probably start somewhere nearby. It is not exactly the low as such, specifically, but probably the lower low, higher low which has been coming, those are basically been coming during this time period. So this is the monthly chart, not the daily chart. But yes, after the low, the higher low which has been coming, that is mostly majorly at those parts. Here also in 2012, yes, we are able to see the same part, and this is quite cyclic because this has been happening after 8 years. So 8 years, and there after 4 years again we see a cycle which is there of bear cycle. So to bear cycle, this was there in 2004. We got a low which is again there in 2008, and after 2008 there was a low again which is there coming in 2012. From 2012, 4 years after that, we had a low which is there in 2016. So after 2016 we had a low after 4 years, which came down in 2020, right? And probably we should be expecting some low which is there probably coming in 2023 or maybe 2024, right? So this is a wild guess, not confirmed. But yes, overall, looking at history, we find out these details. And of course, the next transit which is going to go, which is there in 2117. So a long time period, probably we cannot wait for that. I'm not sure whether any of us will be alive during that time period. But yes, these are cycles. What we are seeing is the bigger cycles, right? We saw a smaller cycle which was there of 8 years in our first video of Venus cycles, right? We saw the second video which was there of 80 years, the land of beginning, right? Uh, I hope you go through the book of Tunnel Through the Air and try to find out more related to that, or you can also check out our previous videos. You'll come to know about this land of new beginnings and 40 years. Then this video we saw bigger cycles which are there of how many? 243 years, right? So this is again a bigger cycle which is being formed, and we saw transits happening, and this is not only one transit, but this is a pair of transits which keeps on happening together. And there have been more of details like series 1, series 2, series 3, series 4 of transits which have been happening and which are there on the opposite nodes, that is the ascending nodes and the descending nodes that we saw, which happens maybe during June time period and some happen during the December time period. So these are totally different, and this will keep on shifting over a period of 5,000 years cycle. So previously, before that, 5 years, 5,000 years before, the transit used to happen somewhere around May and November. Now they have shifted the days probably around by 15 days to the next part, which is there in June and December. That is 7th of June to 9th of December. Again, probably after 1,500 years, probably because we are midway at this stage, right? So probably this cycle should be again shifting to June 21st to December 22nd. So again, that is a time span of somewhere around 15 days, which has been happening, right? And if you try to find out more about these details, yes, uh, you have something, an amazing part over here, a 3D view. So this probably gives us a view about uh, the orbitals of Venus and Earth. So if we look from the current dates which are there and just try to zoom across, so we come to know that okay, probably Venus and Earth probably they are on the opposite direction. So this is going to be a superior conjunction that we have seen. So let us look. Yes. So probably if you see the sun is there, the Earth is there on one side, and we have the Venus which has been approaching on the opposite side. So this is going to be a superior conjunction. What is the superior conjunction? We can see over here when the sun is between Earth and Venus. So this has been called a superior conjunction, and inferior conjunction is when the Venus comes between sun and Earth. So this is inferior conjunctions, and our transit has been happening as per this inferior conjunctions, plus our Venus pentagram that is there is happening again as per this inferior conjunction. Now at this stage, yes, the Earth and Venus are away from each other and in opposite directions too. So this will be able to approach a inferior conjunction for which we have been waiting, right? Waiting means we have that chart. No, we don't have that chart with us currently, but yes. So fine. This is what we wanted to overall summarize and give us the details. We'll meet you again in the next video. Till that, thank you. Bye. Take care.